Teaching began. The first teachers were the elders, passing knowledge through stories, fire, and survival. From Mesopotamia to Egypt, the first schools were born. Scribes, philosophers, and scholars emerged to shape the world with wisdom. In the heart of Greece and Rome, teaching became an art. Socrates questioned, Plato imagined, Aristotle defined. The foundations of modern education were set. In the East, Confucius taught that education is the path to virtue and harmony. His teachings shaped generations, laying the foundation for lifelong learning and respect. Through dark ages and enlightenment, knowledge survived in monasteries, mosques, and temples, carried by the devoted. The Renaissance brought a new dawn. Books spread knowledge. Teachers became the architects of thought and progress. In the great academies of China, scholars mastered literature, science, and governance, ensuring that education remained the pillar of society. With industry came schools for all. Education moved from the elite to the people, building the workforce of a new age. From war to peace, teachers became the guardians of knowledge, shaping generations and breaking barriers. Today, classrooms transcend walls. Technology, AI, and innovation redefine teaching, but the heart of education remains unchanged. Dedicated teachers lighting the way. Tomorrow's world is unknown, but one truth remains. Teachers will always shape the future. From the first humans to the far future, teaching is the greatest legacy of humankind.
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm really good today. Yeah, it's a fine sunny day here in the south of England, and I'm really looking forward to the weekend. I've had a hard, long week. Weeks over.
Yeah.
Weekend.
Never easy. That's good to see you. Thank you, everyone. This is the ESL live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about Fajaruddin Akbar, and he's been doing 300 CPD courses, right?
Yeah. So this guy is a prolific exponent of doing courses to develop his skills. He doesn't stop. Honestly, on LinkedIn, a new certificate. A few days later, it's a new certificate. Continue. He is like the example that we should all follow. So I'm really looking forward to speaking to him today.
Exactly. A lot of questions, I guess. Feel free, everyone. We are live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and Instagram. So feel free to leave your questions. Of course, YouTube. Can't forget you. All right. Yeah. So what I was thinking is like you can leave your questions, but today I wanted as well to start with congratulations to the winner of the giveaway about the 650K subscribers, where Stu gently give his TESOL level 4 course. So who's the winner? Let's check that out. Big shout out to Abida. Yeah, she's the winner. She's got TESOL course and my course as well. A small course to help you start with blended learning in a classroom, but a TESOL course level 4. It's incredible. Congratulations to Abida. Check your email because you're going to receive all of this. Wanted to say something to Abida, Stu?
Yeah, no problem. So it'll be there. Check the email, and then I'll be in touch as well. And I just need your email address and your full name, and then I can enroll you this weekend on the TESOL course, and you can start anytime. And congratulations.
That's awesome. All right. So here we go. We're going to start. We're going to welcome today's guest, Fajruddin Akbar. Here we go. Let's welcome our guest.
Please, let's welcome today's guest, Fajruddin Akbar.
Hey, welcome, Fajruddin. Finally, it's good to see you healthy, because last time you couldn't make it. That's a great pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. That's a great honor to have you with us tonight.
Thanks for having me. I hope my voice is clear. I believe so.
Yeah, all good.
Well, it's very awesome. Actually, I didn't actually expect the effect and everything in its life.
Yeah, Mike. This is all Mike. Nothing to do with me. All of the intro and the music and like the graphics. That's 100% Mike. He's a bit of a genius.
Awesome.
I love my job. I love being a teacher, and I definitely think we can make live stream more fun for everyone, more entertaining, even if we are talking about something really serious, right? The introduction, hyping everybody up is very important, right? It's just the warm-up of the live stream, pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you, Fajruddin. Thank you for being with us. Can you quickly introduce yourself for everyone to know a bit better about you?
Yeah, sure, Mike. Thank you again, Mike. Also, Stuart. It's really nice to be here. Thanks for having me. Again, I'm Fajar. I believe it's easier. So Fajar is my nickname. But let's say it's short for Fajruddin. And yeah, I'm from Indonesia. Was born here in Indonesia. Grew up in Indonesia. Living and working in Indonesia. And yes, I'm an English teacher. I teach for several language schools, mostly online, freelancing. and then working as an academic manager for another one, and then a consultant for another one. So, well, teaching and education is, let's say, a big part of my life. Other than teaching, I'm also an educational technology enthusiast. So yeah, I train teachers how to use technology, but mostly I would like to be known as an English teacher.
Do you know, I very nearly started my career in Indonesia. My friend had been in Indonesia, in Surabaya, for a year, and he told me about it. You know, I wasn't really liking my job in England at the time. I was 24, so I started doing teacher training, and I bought a book of Indonesia Bahasa. I was learning Bahasa. I was just about to go to Indonesia, and then my training school said, if you want to go to Indonesia, you have to pay for your ticket first, and they reimburse you later. And if you go to China, the school sends you the ticket. You know, I was like pretty broke at the time. I was like, I just changed to go to China, and that it could have been different. You know, it could have. Yeah.
Well, maybe next.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's great. So let's start with the questions. Feel free, everyone, to leave your question into the chat so we can answer. I'm checking as well on Instagram. If everyone is here, might not be on right now. All right, just let's say a little shout out to Paul. Hey. Welcome, Paul, always here, and Ibtisam as well.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
So let's start. Yes. Let's start with our questions right now. Let me see. Okay. All right. Here we go. Sounds good. We're going to start with the very first questions. What is these questions? Here is the first one. So, yes, out of those 300 CPD courses you took, how many were actually useful in the classroom?
This is a tough one. Thank you very much.
Let's start, right away, right?
I'm not sure if I can answer it, but well, again, it's a good one, and well, actually, it's more than 300. The last time I counted, it was over 500. But the ones that I actually put on LinkedIn, only the ones that I think are actually accredited. Okay, so well, I've been doing it since 2020. Well, the pandemic, actually 2019, and then 2020 pandemic, I had more time in doing things online, right? Well, there are many, of course. There are many of these courses, trainings, MOOCs we call it. That is, some of them are very impactful in terms of principle. Well, I can say most of them. Most of them are very impactful in terms of principle, beliefs, assuring how I view teaching. And of course, there are also many of them which are very useful in terms of resources, right? Strategies, templates, right? Well, simple things, lesson plan templates, worksheet templates, and then like classroom management strategies, classroom management techniques, games, those kind of stuff. Well, those are, of course, though, if I can remember exactly, of course, not every single thing. I'm like, not every single, all of them that I can use, right? Maybe the major, or maybe the ones that are actually relevant to my teaching. But the thing that I believe, and the thing that that I can say most impactful is the principle. Yeah. How I feel teaching, how I keep being interested in the field, how I know there are more things that I don't know. So, of course, there are a lot of courses. Well, I can say out of 300, well, of course, more than 100, I can pick one from each course when it comes to strategies or templates or resources. Well, as simple as a video okay, or maybe how, as example, when there is this teacher training course where they also share, and there is this discussion forum where the course participants share about their ideas, share about their techniques. But well, I cannot, of course, mention every single one of them, but there are many of them. But I can say most of them, let's say 80% of the courses that I've been doing, that I've done, really support me and really, strengthen my beliefs uh, of the things, or how I view teaching. And again, keep on learning, knowing there are more and more things that I don't know yet, and it's okay.
I think with training courses as well, there's a lot of indirect things. So although you might have a training course that you may not necessarily be able to implement in the classroom, you've got indirect things like motivation.
Yes.
Teach, like you're staying motivated. That motivation will lead to you like teaching better and being more engaging with your students and being a happier teacher and a more focused teacher. And when you go into your classroom, your students will really feed off of that motivation as well. And also you're staying not relevant, you're staying current. All of your knowledge, you're keeping up to date and everything. So these indirect things are kind of invaluable, I think, as well.
Yes, though I know when it comes to short CVD courses, most might expect things to be very direct. As example, strategies to do this, how to lesson plan this, how to create this and that. But well, I've also taken courses where they are not actually, again, direct into the classroom teaching, but how we see teaching, how we see our profession, again, about motivation, about equality, about the languages issues, which I believe the teachers, or let's say myself, need them in order to again keep being interested in my field, and to actually be an example. Well, we expect our learners to keep on learning, to take classes, but how about us? How about me? So by setting myself as an example, so I can also expect my students to do the same, because I do so. Like that. So, well, again, there are many of the courses, I can say 80%, most of them, they're very resourceful and useful in terms of principles, how I view teaching. And again, there are, of course, many of them that I can take or that I can pick from as example, such as resources, lesson plan templates, worksheets, tips, strategies, and techniques.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like leading the way with your students. Like this is what you can. I'm learning too, right? You're learning. I'm learning. I'm the teacher, but I'm learning too still, and just being a really good. What's the word for it? A really good kind of role model students, and also the teachers in your school as well. You might be working in a school, and you're a good role model for
Correct. Correct.
We've got a few good questions starting to come in on the chat, Mike.
Yeah, but there's another question, that the second question, I can't wait to ask that one, because that it sounds so incredible, all this, what makes you want to take so many CPD courses, in the first place? What is the passion, the pressure, curiosity? I'm really curious about that one, really.
Yeah, and I haven't and I haven't stopped. Mike might still is witness. Still is a witness. Just last night, I completed another course on Coursera.
That's the addiction, right?
That's the addiction. Well, so here's the thing. It's a long story. But when it started, well, I can say this might come from an insecurity that I actually have within me. So, well, I don't have a formal degree. So, well, I did study in a university, studying, well, English education and teacher training, but I didn't finish it in the end of my semester. Well, there were things that too long to tell, and then I took a TESOL, TEFL online courses, those kind of stuff, right? And then, long story short, I got this micro scholarships from the U.S. Department of State, the open program, the online professional English network, twice. And yeah, so I can say it's a mix of my passion of learning. Okay, because not only, so these CPD courses that I've been doing, that I've completed, not only related to teaching, but communication, technology, marketing, management, those kind of stuff. And well, there is this little bit of pressure from myself to keep up, to keep up with, again, the trends, the updates, right, and the competition, so on and so on, and of course curiosity.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, curiosity. Yeah, because I guess you were not thinking, yeah, I'm gonna make 300 or 500. No,
No.
wasn't about the numbers. Of course, you wanted to do the courses you wanted to do. Was more about I want to learn so much
Yes.
because I want to get more, maybe skilled, right?
Mhm.
And so learning in every course you can grab, like I guess many of them might be free.
Okay, I'm gonna mention that
Because
actually.
if
I was
you
about
bet,
to
that would
mention it.
cost a lot of money, bro.
Right. I
Yeah.
was about to mention it. So most of them are free. Some of them are sponsored, micro scholarships. Some of them I got paid for doing the course. Right, as a course reviewer, I write about the course. Well, again, Stuart might have seen some of my posts. I write about the course. I gave testimony about the course, and then reviewed about the course, give feedback, and so on and so on. And yeah, so most of them are free. Some of them sponsored scholarship, and some of them I got paid. And while Stuart mentioned about not only that I can bring this into the classroom, but I can bring this into my fellow teachers, because I'm also an academic manager. I oversee over 100, or almost 200 teachers in my language school, 12 branches in Indonesia. So yeah, I also share about these courses, that courses to the teachers. Well, I'm a manager. Again, I manage almost 200 teachers, but of course, I cannot also make sure those 200 teachers do even maybe 2 or 3 courses that I've recommended. Because while teaching is passion for everyone, sometimes continuous learning might not. Some teachers, well, based on my experience or what I witnessed, some teachers sometimes feel that they have enough with what they've been doing. As example, they took their TESOL, TEFL courses or certificates, they completed their university study, and then they're done with it. And again, I want to set an example as a manager of a language school. Not only that I demand them to be like this, to be like that, but also I'm doing it myself, and I try my best to guide them on how to meet the demand to keep updated with what learning is current.
That's a really good leadership trait. You're asking your teachers, you're encouraging your teachers to do professional development, but you're showing them, look, I'm actually doing this myself as well. I'm not the finished article. I'm really interested in that as well, and you're kind of leading the way. And myself and Mike, we were in China for a long time, and one of the great Confucius, he said, even the longest journeys starts with the first step.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a teacher watching this and you've never really done any CPD before, you could just start with, find a course and start with that course. That's it. And then you can, years later or whatever, end up with 500.
Well, the free 50-hour TEFL 11 can be a start.
Yeah, that's how we got to know each other, right?
Yeah, it's correct. It's
Yeah,
a good one too.
I wrote a 50-hour free course. It's actually 5 modules from the full TESOL course, minus like a lot of like the premium videos and stuff. So it's like the actual real modules that you'll learn within the full TESOL accredited TESOL course. Yeah, how did you enjoy that course? How did you find that course? I'm putting you under pressure now.
Awesome. Actually, it's awesome. I mentioned it, right? I hope, I wish I could download the PDF, but of course, I know you want to keep it. But yeah, that's great. And yeah, I recommend it to my fellow teachers. So here's the thing: TEFL, TESOL, they are not really popular terms in Indonesia. Most Indonesian English teachers, they study English education study or English literature study, and then they teach English. So the term TEFL, TESOL, or well, not to mention CELTA, they are not really common. So I recommend these, of course, your course as a start for those who want to know what is TEFL, what's the difference between TEFL and the English education that they have studied in their university. And I put it in my collection of open online courses for English language teachers.
Good stuff.
That's you have your own website, right?
Yeah.
This Fajruddin's website is, if you wish, you also scan the QR code and reach out to Fajruddin. Of course, there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, well, that's a collection of 4 years of curation. And that website, no ads, no login. Well, basically the website is just like collections of links of other websites. And I name it MOOC Guru, well, massive open online courses, because the main idea of the website itself is massive open online courses. But for English teachers and English learners, I also curate free teaching resources, free learning English resources, those kind of stuff. Community that you can, network in. Mostly they are like collections of curations of resources.
That looks great. I'm just on your website now. So free access to reading courses. AI assistants for teachers, so different kind of AI assistants, right? Webinar recordings, so you can go on and look at different webinars. 21st century skills for self-paced online courses. This is good stuff, Fajri. Yes. Anyone watching this, scan that code and you can go to the website. Business English. How did you find these resources to curate them? Was it just like how did you gather them?
It's a long journey. Well, started in 2020, of course, the beginning of pandemic. We had more free time, as we know. We had more free time. We discovered more tools. We discovered more websites. We discovered more digital technologies. So I started curating these resources using a website or digital tool called Wakelet. So Wakelet is like a bookmarking website.
How do you spell that? W-A-Y clip.
Yeah, W-A-K-E let Wakelet.
Oh, Wakelet. Yeah, let me.
Yes. Let me type it. Let me type it in the private chat. Wakelet. So Wakelet started 2018, I think 2019, and then they built a community of teachers. So they have like community leader, community ambassadors, and then I became. Well, it's a UK-based company, educational technology company in the UK. They started as a free website, which is actually made to support teachers to curate resources, to curate lesson plans, and it's now integrated with Google Classroom, Moodle, Canvas, and those kind of stuff. So I started curating these resources at Wakelet. Before that, I curated them on my Facebook post or Facebook page. So every time I found something, I posted it on Facebook just to save it as a link, right? And then in 2022, 2023, I saved up some money, and then I bought a domain, and then I hired a freelance website designer, and then built that Move Guru website out of my pocket, and it is free to this day. So, well, during the pandemic and before the pandemic, I have developed this expertise in navigating the internet, aka Googling. Right. So using the correct keywords, the effective keywords, you might find anything that you actually need, especially learning resources. and it's sometimes surprising that
Go on.
Yeah, well, it's actually surprising when well, how could people not know this, right? How could this is not popular, and so on and so on. And then I curate it, and then I share it with my fellow teachers, share it with my students. So yeah, Googling, simple as that.
Yeah, the number one.
That's great. So yeah, that next question. Where sorry, were there CPD and why?
Yeah. Well, there were CPD courses. Yeah. Well, there were courses that I skipped, of course, especially the free ones. The free ones, and then there were also courses that I paid for and I skipped them because, well, unfortunately, quite disappointing. So I know there are more and more online courses. There are more and more courses creators or courses designers freelancing, designing their own website, building their own website, selling their own courses, and maybe selling their courses through platforms like Udemy, okay, or LinkedIn Learning. So there were these courses that I found. The courses were only curating things that are the things that you can find online. So they're not authentic. So they're just some YouTube videos. They put it there. Lesson plans from the website that I actually know, which are free. Okay, some pictures that are curated from other websites. So yeah, I skip a lot of courses. I just left them. Maybe I unenroll. Sometimes I subscribe to the platform, and then I just let them be because they're quite disappointing. Yeah, the things that maybe this also will answer the next question, the upcoming questions about how to choose the effective courses or the best courses that you can, or that worth your time and especially your money. Okay, so accreditation is very important, and real testimony. So every time I find or I try to search for a new course, and then I'm interested in the course, and it's a paid course, I will first search on LinkedIn. I will search for the title of the course or the name of the course, and I will try to look for alumni post of the course. I will try to search for a certificate of the course, because when as example, when I finish the course, when I complete the course, I post it on LinkedIn, I write something about it. Right? So that's what I mostly do. So the ones that I skipped are mostly because they were unfortunately disappointing. They were only curations of free stuff online. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, in terms of accreditation, I got my TESOL course accredited. Mm-hmm. It was a 2-year long process, very, very difficult. And I think a lot of courses don't go through accreditation. Like I purposely didn't accredit the free course, although I could do. It's just cost. It costs like over 1,000 British pounds to get it accredited.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, it's a free course. I put it together as a taster for the full course. So I chose not to get it accredited just because I really would be out of pocket. I'd be out of pocket.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it done. So there's probably are free courses out there that aren't accredited that are still good courses. It's just for whatever reason the person that made the course didn't get it done. I've got a couple of questions actually. A good one is, how do you avoid, what kind of red flags do you look for in a course? What would put you off of doing a course?
Let me spill it a bit about accreditation. So this is, I read this somewhere, and I prove it. I read it somewhere. There are these blogs, websites, TEFL reviews, TESOL reviews, trusted review, those kind of things. So it turned out there are these, unfortunately, unreal accreditations. So the accreditation itself is a part of the course itself.
Yeah.
So they made up some websites. Okay, they made up some landing page, made them look convincing, but actually it doesn't actually exist. It's no real accreditation, right?
Yeah.
I believe you know it, right? Yeah. So that's why, other than accreditation, I mentioned I search for real testimony. I search for LinkedIn post. Okay, I search for a blog post talking about the course, because of course, again, accreditation is very much important, especially when it comes to qualifications. Especially if you take the course in order, to advance your career, to apply for jobs. Okay, again, qualifications. But I know, and I've taken courses which are, let's say, not accredited. They are not accredited because they can't be, but they don't need to be. Okay, as example, the courses that I know, the designers. Okay, I know the designers, and they're great people. They don't have to accredit their course because the course is just for you to learn. Okay? Not as something that you need to, again, to prove your qualification or stuff like that. So check and rechecking is very essential, especially when you are about to put some investment into this course or into this training. Okay, again, try to understand what accreditation means. Well, there are these big names of accreditation, this and that, international this, international that, association this and that. Well, there are many of them, but try to understand what they mean first. And then again, I must say, testimony is the best one. Okay. Testimony, proof. And it's even I have even some teachers approach me, DM me on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and ask me about certain courses, and I really appreciate it. Okay, it means that they are actually they're really serious about taking the course, and they are really considering about the course. So it's also a good step to find some alumni or those who have taken the courses, and then ask them, and it might be a good start to network.
What was your experience of the course? How was it laid out? Was it easy to navigate? Is it intuitive? Will you actually learn something? Is it worth my time at the end of the day? Yeah. We got a question a little bit earlier. How do you find the time? Because as teachers, we're all really busy. We've got our job, we've got our family. How do you find the time to do it?
Well, I'm lucky enough. I'm a private English teacher on the side, because my main job currently is an academic manager. So I'm more into the management compared to the teaching hour. So I mostly only teach like 2 to 3 hours a day, maybe about less than 10 hours a week. Well, since 2023, but well, I taught a lot. To 2022 to 2023, well, I taught like 8 hours. Sorry, about 6 hours a day. The thing is that again, I'm a private teacher. I teach at a language school where we don't have as many administration works, right? We don't have many homework. Well, I don't know about you, but in my school, we don't assign homework. We don't need to grade homework.
Yeah. Saves you a lot of time not having to do that.
Yeah, we have a lot of time. The thing is that that's why Einstein said that time is relative, right? It depends on how you use your time. Well, there are teachers who spend their time to enjoy their life, and it's great. It's fine, right? It's their life. And there are teachers who love to learn things their own way. The thing is that maybe this sounds a bit boring. Yeah, I don't go to concert. I don't go to concert. I don't really watch movies. And so yeah, I do my time taking online courses because also it becomes a side gig. As I mentioned, I'm also a course reviewer. I've been involved with some course development, like again with the Online Professional English Network, the U.S. Department of State, the British Council, Oxford University Press several times. And yeah, well, it's really enjoyable because these CPD courses. So of course, I choose the courses which are not really demanding. Okay, maybe the assignments are just quizzes. Well, a little bit of lesson planning, a little bit of creating projects, but most of them they are just mostly quizzes, right? Mostly quizzes, watching videos, reading articles, and then let's say contribute in a discussion forum, which is great, right? Maybe I take about 3 to 4 hours a day doing these online courses.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
long time. Sure. Yeah, that's incredible. And question number 6, we got your journey of business. Did it change your way to teach?
Totally, absolutely. Because I also mentioned that the CPD courses that I've taken and I've been taking, they are not only teaching related, but some of them are communication, again, about digital marketing, sometimes about coding. Because I teach business English, I teach working professionals, I teach IT engineers, I teach CEOs. I had a student who is a celebrity, doctors, even lecturers, professors,
Right.
working in manufacturing companies.
Which field? So you did a lot of field.
Yes.
Which course? We are very curious. If there's a course like you.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
Not much.
That's a good one. It's things that related to business. Though, of course, there is this saying, well, you don't need to have an MBA to teach a business English, to teach business English programs. You don't need an MBA. But getting yourself into the world of business, being open to the, let's say, the fundamentals, understanding of how business works, really open your minds on how you deliver business English programs, on how you understand business English needs, okay, on how you understand these business English students, they care nothing about the language. they care nothing about those grammar stuff. They care nothing about being able to actually proficient in English. What they need to do, what they need is they have a job, they work and they need to communicate and they need to use English to communicate. Right? So it's not about the language. It's not about, oh, because English is beautiful, because English is a language of nothing. Okay. As example, let's say in the let's say in the next 20 to 30 years, let's say Chinese, maybe Chinese language or any other language, well, people will shift. Okay, so understanding how the world of business works really transformed and really opened my eyes into what business English learners actually need and feel the language.
Yeah, I used to teach business English in China. I used to go into companies and teach business English, and that's 100% right. A lot of the time they didn't particularly want to be there, so their motivation was already low. Either their manager made them do it, or they felt they had to have meetings in English, and they felt kind of they lost face, or they're a bit embarrassed. They couldn't communicate effectively, so they had to do it, but they didn't particularly enjoy doing it a lot of the time. So you're working with that, and so you're thinking about how can I meet their needs, like you say, what are their needs, what do they need from this course, and hopefully by meeting their needs, they in the end they see a point to doing it. This is why I'm learning English, okay, and then their motivation starts to come up. That's it. So how many kind of business English courses are there? How many have you taken specifically on business English?
Oh my goodness. Well, the ones that I have completed from Coursera, I've taken 3 specialization courses. One specialization courses consists of 3 to 5 courses. Okay, so well, maybe about 12 or 15 courses from Coursera, only from Coursera. And then I took from edX. I also took several courses from the Future Learn and many other websites. But the ones that are actually more impactful is not business English courses, but business courses. So it's not the business English courses. The ones that actually open my mind is not the business English courses or teaching business English. Though of course, these teaching business English courses gave me idea on how to, again, manage classroom, lesson planning, creating worksheets and those kind of stuff. Very great. But the ones that actually open my view in how I see business English needs is business courses.
Clever. Very clever. Yeah.
and every time I teach business English, so currently I have a student who is an accountant. Well, I never talk about grammar. I never talk about pronunciation. I never talk about. So the motivation is that, as example, so you're going to speak with your boss who is an Indian. So your boss is an Indian speaking English, and this is what you talk about. As example, let's talk about revenue. Okay, let's talk about revenue. So this is what you need to say when you talk about revenue, because when you use this, when you say this, when you talk about revenue, it's well delivered. It's better delivered when you present the revenue of your company using this language. Or let's say how you present about the tax, okay, about the tax of the company. This is how you deliver it. This is the language. So talking about the goals, not about the language.
Yeah, it's almost like using like authentic language.
Yes,
that they're really
language.
Yeah, and you deliver it in that style, in a really professional style. Yeah. Good work. I completely get what you're saying. That is a very, very smart way of doing it. I've never thought of that before. Yeah, might do that myself.
Let's go with role do AI at play in C now, and are they you took some courses?
Yeah, well, good one. Well, as a practitioner myself, as an edtech enthusiast myself, well, I have been also experimenting with AI tools.
Yeah,
I've been posting about AI lately, creating some demonstration videos on LinkedIn and Facebook. Well, when it comes to CPD courses, again, well, of course, there are many courses which are now including element of AI. As example, the one that I completed just last night, designing learning with AI, and then
Yeah.
AI in instructional design, AI in lesson planning, AI in English language teaching, AI in creating this and that. Well, those are the topics, and they are great topics, and they're essentials. Teachers need to have guidance, and when it comes to courses, it's structured, organized, it's a step-by-step guide. And well, I believe teachers need them, and I recommend teachers to take some courses on AI related teaching, or AI related communications, or even English language teaching with AI. But the trend is now platforms like Coursera, edX, FutureLearn, they have embedded the AI into the course. So now there is this AI assistant that you can ask, that you can chat with to talk about the course. And well, it's helping, and it's a hype. Well, it's, anything that sells, right? But it's helping. It's actually helping. Well, recently again, I've been taking some courses from Coursera, and now it has this new feature where I can chat with, I forgot the name, but so there is this on the bottom right of the website. So you can click it, and then I can chat with the AI to talk about the course, like that. And they are embedded in the course. And many course platforms or LMS platforms like Open Learning, Canvas, even Moodle, or Google, as simple as Google Classroom, now they have the feature to actually embed AI into your course. And I've been thinking about it recently, and it's not impossible. It's not impossible that CPD courses will be dynamic. So we can expect to take a course that can change every day. So the course content is unconventional. So it's not like, as example, okay, I do this module today, I'll do the next module next week, and then third module the other day or the other week. But it's somehow, I've been thinking about this, it's possible to actually the CPD courses or the CPD to become an AI chatbot, as simple as an AI chatbot. So this AI chatbot can be like a mentor, not a course. So as example, like say your steward is no longer doing, or let's say running the course, but steward directly mentor a TEFL trainee. So steward doesn't give modules, steward doesn't give, assignment, but stewards, chat with the TEFL trainee about how to teach.
Yeah.
Do things along the way.
Be educated, a chat bot
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
because there's that still going on. I get your idea. It still have to what can do that. That's for sure. Chatbots bring you. I mean, playing. The way structure, but it all depends what you're learning, because very important. Example for two, very special structure recommended by the body. They want you to have that skill, and it's going to make teach this the because usually chatbot goes on to him, is going to end, right? If you is I don't know if you get that what's that hit you actually go to this kind of following the when you as
I was teaching IELTS this week. I've got a student teaching online, teaching him IELTS, and so we were doing IELTS speaking, and we were focusing on part 1. And I downloaded an IELTS app using AI that uses AI, and it listened to her responses, and it did a transcript, and then afterwards it did a recommendation. So these are the mistakes that she actually made. They didn't give examples. They gave real examples that she had said 10 seconds before, immediate answer, and also the vocabulary that she used. And also they gave real examples about how she could have changed that vocabulary to score a higher band. And it blew me away. I was like, wow, this is very, very clever. So there are ways of getting AI, I think, into courses that directly talk about the course. Yeah, I don't know how you do that, but I'm sure someone out there does.
Yeah. And one more thing that I want to...
Sorry, Mike, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, Mike. Yeah.
No.
One more thing that I want to raise when it comes to chatbot, because the thing is that the way of how people learn might shift, because as we know, with the massive availability of this chatbot, ChatGPT, Grok, and everything, we have seen a big shift in how people search things. So some people now can just chat into a ChatGPT or even on WhatsApp and ask for things, and that's how they learn. So if we see this trend, and the way of learning is shifting into becoming people learn through chatting. So it's, again, just like I mentioned, it's somehow not impossible that CPD or even formal learning can shift into a form of doing a chat, just like having a conversation. That's what I've been thinking about.
Yeah, it's really, really clever, like the direction that CPD is going in. Very exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah. You've given me the bug for it again, Fajruddin. I think, do you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go on your website and I'm going to look through some of the resources and I'm going to pick something out.
Sure, please do.
Something
that's the last.
Yeah.
And here we go with the last question for today. I may be answering one or two questions in the chat that I saw. For teachers with limited time, what's your advice for getting the most out of CPD?
Okay, this is a good one. Well, teachers, you can take CPD the way it's affordable to you. You can afford the time, you can afford the energy, you can afford the stamina, and of course the cost. It's not always courses. It's not always online courses. Well, I like courses because, again, it's structured, organized, and I know the step by step. But these days, it comes in many forms. Podcasts like the one that we are doing now. We are delivering a CPD, right? This is CPD for teachers. Okay, listening to podcasts, and then reading short articles, contributing in a community chat. Okay, WhatsApp group or Messenger group. They count as CPD. And even recently, FutureLearn, one of the biggest online course platform, has launched bite-sized learning. So it's like TikTok of CPD. So the CPD comes in 15 minutes of video. And more platforms have come with the similar idea. So they call it bite-sized learning. Even LinkedIn is coming with this idea. That's why they launched the short video feature, right? So CPD can come in many forms, and the one that I can recommend is the one that suits you best in terms of time, in terms of energy, how it can occupy your mind, and cost. well, there are free stuff, but I really recommend invest in some of the CPD that can actually advance your career in terms of qualification, because that's how the economy runs.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Faja, for all this sharing and your suggestions to teachers. And we got questions here from Bilal. What CPD course do you suggest for novice and experienced teachers?
Well, you can start with the 50-hour free TEFL Lemon course, and for real. And yeah, you can also visit my website. So I have that collection of open online courses for English language teachers. So if you're an English teacher, try to visit it. Well, let's say if you are a novice teacher or if you're just starting, I would really recommend basic fundamentals TEFL or TESOL courses. But let's say if you want to further your interest in English language teaching, try to take something more specific. As example, how to teach IELTS, how to teach business English, how to teach PTE, those kind of stuff. Though maybe you're not interested in teaching the skills. Example, I know that there are teachers who don't actually or they're not really interested in teaching IELTS, but taking some specific courses can actually broaden their horizon and again open their view into how teaching works. Because sometimes, based on my experience interviewing teachers in recruitments and also evaluating teachers in my language school, again, they feel enough. And I cannot blame them. They feel enough because, unfortunately, they are bordered by the wall of, comfort zone, because they have been actually doing the teaching that they have done for so many years. And, well, they are really into it. Awesome. But it's limiting, and unfortunately, it's not. It just doesn't work in this, in this current, ever changing and everything.
Yeah. Wow, what an hour! Like, this has gone so fast. I think we can do this again, Mike. This has been so useful.
True, it is. Yes, I had still Bilal with another question, of course. App have you used to assess IELTS speaking?
Yeah, so I think that was for me. Let me find that. It was that one there, the one with the the speech bubbles, IELTS speaking. So all kind of really, and you've got all of these different topics you can use for part one, and then you just tap on it, and then it will give you questions, part one questions that you can ask, and when you ask them, you can record. Tap to record here, and it will. Social media. When did you start using social media? So I can tap that. I can tap it, my student speaks, and then it will analyze the speech, pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, pauses, linking words, conjunctions, everything, and give you a band score and advise how to get a higher score. So, and it's free. Check it out. There is a premium version, but the free did me just fine.
That's great. Thank you, Stu. Thank you as well, Faja. That was really awesome to have you on the platform. Hope to see you again, because I feel like Stu said, it's a lot of things to learn, huh?
Yeah, sure. It would be great. It would be great, because I'll be pleased. I'm so glad to be here.
Right. Oh, you're getting calling to prayer there. That's really awesome.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It's 6 p.m.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Right. And I'm 7 p.m. We're not far, huh, Faja?
Yeah, not really far. Not really that far.
Yeah. That's cool. Thank you so much again for coming on the ESL live stream. Is going to be it for today. Hope you have a good time. How's your shoulder? Is it fine? We didn't ask. at the
Getting
beginning,
better.
but-
Getting better. Well, getting better. In fact, like I'm using mouse on my left hand. So well, I cannot. Well,
Oh, man.
it's no longer hurt, but
Take care, man.
yeah, I cannot move it yet. But it's getting better. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Fajaruddin. Feel free to follow him on his website, which is, if I remember the name when you read it, it's mukguru.com, right?
Yes, mukguru.com. Yes.
Great.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Fajaz. See you next time. See you soon.
Yeah, see you. See you. Take care. Take care. Bye. Have a good night. See you, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh,
that
how
was
cool
great.
is that? Yeah.
Yes.
And it just goes to show you just need to choose what you want to do and find it using Google. There was like really some such good Coursera, Future Learn. You've got different LMS, like it's there. You just have to open the door to CPD to see what's out there for you.
Yeah. And we discover as well that he did even more, close to 500, he said.
Yeah, right.
That's
Unbelievable.
incredible, right?
Yeah, really good attitude.
But at least if you want to know, for people who are building their own course, I'm sure he is someone who can give you great advices for what course you want to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because Fajaruddin's on LinkedIn, he's on Instagram. So if you're thinking about doing a course, you want to, April's coming, it's a new month, new start. I want to do a course. Reach out to Fajaruddin and ask him, what do you think I should do?
exactly. That's true. Thank you very much, Stu. Hope you're doing good as well. Back in the UK.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's
I'm looking forward to
Saturday.
today.
The weekend is.
I'm going to be paying. My son goes to university this September, but he's going away in the summer. He's going to go back to China. So I've only got about another 7 more weeks of his time. So we're going to go and play a bit of pool today. And in Brighton, there's a new Shanxi restaurant. So I'm going to have jjajangmian today.
Wow. Awesome.
Well, maybe
I'm not going to miss.
You got it right.
I guess you're missing it more than me, huh?
Yeah.
No, I miss cheese.
Yeah. You haven't
Thank you very much, Stu. And
no worries, mate.
Great. We keep in touch. Next week is going to be the Sweep Tom Festival, but I'll be still in Xi'an, so I'll have that time to do a little live with everyone. It's always good to be together, and especially with Stu, it's even better. Keep on learning, keep on sharing. Thank you, everyone. That was the ESL live stream. See you guys.
Yeah, bye.
Cheers.
In the dawn of time, before writing, before civilization, teaching began. The first teachers were the elders, passing knowledge through stories, fire, and survival. From Mesopotamia to Egypt, the first schools were born. Scribes, philosophers, and scholars emerged to shape the world with wisdom. In the heart of Greece and Rome, teaching became an art. Socrates questioned, Plato imagined, Aristotle defined. The foundations of modern education were set. In the East, Confucius taught that education is the path to virtue and harmony. His teachings shaped generations, laying the foundation for lifelong learning and respect. Through dark ages and enlightenment, knowledge survived in monasteries, mosques and temples, carried by the devoted. The Renaissance brought a new dawn. Books spread knowledge. Teachers became the architects of thought and progress. In the great academies of China, scholars mastered literature, science and governance, ensuring that education remained the pillar of society. With industry came schools for all. Education moved from the elite to the people, building the workforce of a new age. From war to peace, teachers became the guardians of knowledge, shaping generations and breaking barriers. Today, classrooms transcend walls. Technology, AI, and innovation redefine teaching, but the heart of education remains unchanged. Dedicated teachers lighting the way. Tomorrow's world is unknown, but one truth remains. Teachers will always shape the future. From the first humans to the far future, teaching is the greatest legacy of humankind.